What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be putting the Mototec aside. I'm sure a bunch of you want to see more of how it's doing, and honestly it's great and I love the thing, but the thing is I want to get that foot brake hooked up to it, and in order to do that I'm going to have to tear the whole bike down. I'm not going to have a bike for a while other than the RSF, which is really slow and gutless. Don't get me wrong, it's pretty fun. I've been practicing my wheelies on it too with the stock overvolted 48 system, and I'm getting pretty good at them, but I really want to get the ETM kit in there, so that's what we're doing today. So check it out. I've been kind of sitting here scratching my head trying to figure out how I'm gonna want to do this. As you can see, I've already got the controller taken out and I got the motor out as well, and we have my new Mototec in there with the 11 tooth custom sprocket that Steve-O made for me. And right now I just have this one bolt in here, and what I ended up doing was cutting the bracket for the Mototec, and basically I'm going to take it all apart and show you guys what I did. I still got to take it apart, grind it all off, that way I can weld some stuff to it. But actually, real quick, while it's in there, I'll show you where I got all the pieces and stuff for this. But basically, so like I said, we have the one bolt right here, and then this plate right here needs to be mounted somehow. So what I'm going to do is take this 1/8 inch flat stock. I'm going to weld it right here. This is a lot thicker than this stuff, so I'm going to have to be careful. But it should be good, because when you throttle the motor twists this way, so it'll be pulling down on it, and this is going to be sitting on top of these, so it really shouldn't be a big deal. The way the Mototec was mounted, this should be a lot sturdier. And then I have this piece that I actually cut off the mount as well, and basically I'm going to be, well, let's see if I can do this without knocking stuff over. I'm going to basically cut that down a little bit. Let's try to get in there. Weld that to the plate. So as you can see, that's sitting right here. And then this piece is going to get welded up top. Sorry, this is super hard to tell. But basically this top piece will be holding the bracket like so. That way it can't move or twist on me. And that should be pretty solid. This bolt does kind of get in the way, but if I keep it up enough, the tensioner shouldn't go past this point and should keep tension on it pretty well. But yeah, so let me get this thing taken apart. I'll show you how I cut these pieces for it. I know this is going to be kind of a one-off deal. Obviously you can go buy the kits for these, the MY1020 motors, just slap right in, but I'm using what I got. Don't want to have the ETM kit just sitting in a box wasting away, and I mean, you guys know that ETM kit screams. So let me get this taken apart. I'll show you how I cut up that mounting bracket and get this project rolling. Alright guys, so let me show you what I ended up doing to make all of these pieces that I'm going to be using. This is just flat steel, so no biggie. But here's the stock Mototec bracket, and basically this is what attaches to the swing arm, and it pokes out, and then you got this full flat piece that sits on the face of the motor. So what I ended up doing was cutting out this end, so I have a nice flat piece to cover those two bolt holes that I showed you earlier that aren't mounted to the stock RSF swing arm. And then I'm left with this piece right here, and that is what butted up to the swing arm on the Mototec. And I basically just cut off this piece like so. That way I have a piece to weld to that, and then this will be welded here like so. Sorry guys, it's kind of hard to see, but basically the goal of this video is to mount the motor, get the controller on, and at least get it rolling. put the throttle and all that stuff on. That way we can get this thing moving, and then on the next video we're gonna be swapping out the forks on the RSF for, excuse my mess, the Mototec stuff. Now I got a guy that was on Facebook who's already done the Mototec fork swap onto his MX, so I'm going to be copying his idea. Shout out Anthony. But yeah, so basically I'm just going to get these cleaned up. I'm going to come over here, grind off the paint on this as well, and then basically from there remount the motor and start tacking things together. So let me get all this cleaned up, and then I will try to set you up on the tripod and we can start welding or tacking this thing together. Cool. Alright guys, we are back. So as you can see, like I said, I cut the plate like so, got that all cleaned up. We got this all cleaned up. So basically I will be welding this somewhat like that, and then you can see I got my plate sitting across the swing arm, and this flat end will sit something like that. So I'll tack that up in there. But yeah, first thing I'm going to do is mount the motor, get it into the position I want, and then I'll go ahead and start tacking things into place. And then from there I will pull the motor out and I will finish welding it completely. So let's go ahead. I'll try to set you up on a good angle so you can follow me on that, and then from there mount the motor, get the controller, get all the peripherals on, and then hopefully take it for a little test trip. Alright, let me get you set up. Alright guys, so I got it tacked on real quick. So as you can see, get this chain out the way. Yeah, so I just got to weld that plate all together, weld this down. Hopefully my welds come out pretty good. It seems like that is on the right setting. But yeah, so let me just weld all this stuff together, and then we'll throw the motor back in after it cools down, make sure it's nice and sturdy, and then basically from there plug in the controller, make sure everything works, make sure the motor holds in there nice and strong. I might hit it with some black spray paint. I don't have anything to match this, and honestly we're trying to repaint this thing anyways. So yeah, that's about as far as I've gotten so far, as you can tell from the hyperlapse. So let me get all this finished welded, and then I will be back. Alright guys, kind of running out of daylight. Sunset is coming. I did have a little bit of primer, so I sprayed it down. As you can see, my welder's so ugly. I think I had the heat turned up too much, but sorry, I'm twisting it. Check it out. We are good to go. Obviously that's spinning it backwards, but let's see, no issues. Looks like we're running nice and straight. Tensioner's still working just fine. It is very close to that bolt, but it is far enough away that it shouldn't be a problem. Check it out. Mototec motor is mounted. It's hard to tell, but this thing is freaking solid in there. It is ridiculous, and I think this is gonna work great. So basically, yeah, all I gotta do now is figure out how to mount the controller, get the throttle on, and the on-off switch, voltmeter, all that good stuff, and then yeah, basically plug it all in and give her a rip. So let me figure out how I'm going to mount the controller, and then once I get everything all wired up and finished, I'll show you what I did, and then hopefully we'll go for a rip before nighttime. Alright guys, as you can see, it's super late right now, pitch black out. Took me a little bit longer than I was hoping it would. Ran into a few issues. Let me flip the camera around and show you. See if get the light going. Hopefully the camera quality is not too bad. So basically, let me start off with this. This motor is the 1500 watt plus, and this is the just the regular 1500 watt that it came with, the Mototec came with. And Electro&Co is saying that you need to let them know which motor you have because it could run wrong. And basically I put this motor in, and the torque was insane on this thing. It was ridiculous. But anytime I would move backwards, it would just start spinning backwards as fast as it could, and I had to shut it off, turn it back on to get it running. And then I had to use my old motor, and this one up top is stripped. So if you can see that, I have to use a nut on the back side. So normally the Hall and phase wires would be coming out the top, and basically they're down here now. Kind of see where my finger is. Oh, shaky right now. But yeah, right there where my fingernail is, it's coming out. So it's not a big deal, just the motor's turned that way. And I had to use one of these, I guess cap tops, button tops, whatever, because the chain was getting too close with these style bolts, and it was rubbing it really bad. And then on the chain tensioner, this thing right here, it was like coming up and slapping this thing and just making a nasty noise. But yeah, so I mean, it's pretty much finished. I should say it is finished. You know, I just got to throw the plastics back on, but everything should go on stock. Controller's up there, got the battery plugged in. Come up top, turn it on, got my on and off switch, voltmeter, and my throttle. I am going to cut this video here in a second because it's dark out. You guys aren't going to really be able to see me ride it, but oh, lean it over. ETM kit is officially hooked up. Another problem is the sprocket. You know, it was kind of a tester, so we knew it wasn't going to be perfect, but basically the bore hole is slightly off center, so the chain's like wobbling back and forth. Also the sprocket isn't as thick, so I kind of JB welded some stuff into there, kind of help fill the gap and keep it nice and tight. But I mean, little issue. Right now it does run and ride, so I am going to run it, and then I believe I have the stock front sprocket for the RSF, and I'll probably just clamp you know, Mototec sprocket and the RSF sprocket together, and then just take a file it out nice and easy. I mean, it won't be easy, it'll probably take freaking ever, but you know, those things are machined to be perfect, so I'll get that one put on there and should work a little bit better. Still, shout out Steve-O, you got me this far. I do appreciate you, man. But yeah, guys, that's gonna do it for Mototec Swap the RSF. Super pumped. This thing, I can't even explain the torque on this thing now. It's ridiculous. Like trying to do wheelies on it, I almost threw myself back a couple times. And I am officially going to be welding up the freewheel. With all this power, I really just do not like that lag. You know, when you go to correct your wheelie, it slam, and the power comes in too hard and really slams the sprocket. So I will be welding that. Very simple stuff, so I'll probably do it off camera, just a couple tacks around it, clean it up, you know, all that good stuff. But yeah, guys, that's gonna do it for the RSF swap. This is only part one, so get ready for part two coming soon. We're gonna be swapping the forks on it, and of course we got to get that ride in. But yeah, stay tuned for the next one. Peace.